Okay. Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
We did the whole.
Yeah.
Yes, it went through. We're good.
Talk to her.
Hi, Stacy.
Ask her what you had for lunch.
Stacy, what did you have for lunch today? Did you manage to get enough coffee?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yes, I am. Yeah.
Ryan, you said we have some Flames and Trojan action that we can expect. What else is going on?
Well, we've got Montreal losing badly. Toronto.
Hi, Stacy. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Stacy can hear us.
Good, Stacey.
Yeah.
How cold is it out?
Good afternoon and welcome to SAIT Newsfile. I'm Drew Stremick. Ryan Clark will have a look at the latest sports highlights in the show. Ryan, what can we expect?
Well, the Flames are playing tonight, so hopefully we can get a win. We also have some footage of the Trojans basketball team. No, we'll be looking forward to that, but that's all coming up.
Great, that sounds fantastic. Rachel Weed is outside the newsroom currently to give us a quick glimpse at the weather. Rachel, it looks a bit chilly.
That's right, Drew. We can expect a high of -14 today. The record high is still held by 2009 with 14 degrees, but thankfully we don't live in 1935 when the record low was -37 degrees. I'll have all the details later on SAIT Newsfile.
Thanks, Rachel. Now here's a look at today's top stories. Alberta has a new temporary justice minister after Premier Jason Kenney asked Casey Madu to step aside. Our own Stacey Hine is reporting live from the McDougall Center. Stacey, how did this all happen?
Well, Drew, back in March, Alberta Justice Minister Casey Madu was pulled over and issued a ticket for distracted driving, which apparently he tried getting out of. The New Democrats are asking for his head.
After the ticket was issued, Madu apparently called the Edmonton Police Chief Dale McPhee to discuss the context of the traffic stop. Something the New Democrats say is just a way to get out of the tag. The NDs say Madu should resign.
I was shocked that a cabinet minister, and in particular justice minister, would make that call. We live in a province, in a country with rule of law, and nobody is above the law.
Madu wanted to ensure he wasn't being unlawfully surveilled following the controversy surrounding the Lethbridge Police Service and the officer who followed NDP MLA Shannon Phillips. He also brought up the concerns around profiling racial minorities. Mount Royal University political scientist Dwayne Bratt says it's basically political suicide.
Either he was unaware that this was inappropriate behavior, which is bad for a justice minister to not know that they shouldn't be interfering in the judicial system like this, or he knew it and he simply didn't care. And that's even worse.
It remains to be seen what the next step will be. Back to you, Drew.
That was Stacey Hine reporting from the McDougall Center downtown. 2 out of the 3 major universities in Calgary have extended the return to in-person classes date to the end of February after Reading Week. This move comes after the rise in COVID-19 Omicron variant cases in Alberta. By making this move, the schools are hoping to help curb the spread of the variant. Michael Quass has more.
Online learning is becoming the new norm for all post-secondary institutions. Students over the past 2 years have had to overcome so many learning obstacles, with either having the uncertainty if they're going to be on campus or not, which has changed how students learn. There are a lot of challenges with staying home, including staying focused with all the distractions.
I honestly had like a slight feeling we wouldn't go back when things started getting bad. Last semester my focus was brutal, like being completely honest with you. Like I just worked and like would study like very last minute for all my tests and everything.
By having everybody at home, that meant test taking was going to become a little less controlled by the teachers. Some students say testing online compared to in person was better and made you have to focus more in class.
In a sense, I feel like the testing and everything got so much better, because it forced teachers to make actual exams and ask like thought-provoking questions.
Teachers have had to learn themselves how to be able to educate the students and get the information across to the students in an effective manner with little or no training on how to do it in an online environment.
Situation strictly, doing remote learning for an environment that was meant to be in person.
Despite the challenges, most instructors were able to pivot, but with a lot of extra work.
Never in 100 years did we think we would be sitting in a pandemic, which makes for the fact that teachers and students have been able to adjust on the fly and still give the best education they can with the circumstances. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Michael Quass.
The Omicron variant has been rapidly spreading, with more than 15,000 new cases in Alberta reported over the weekend. This has made life challenging for some schools that have been struggling to keep schools running while cases continue to rise. Tommy Osborne has more.
On families, on students.
Teachers and school staff all across Calgary have been struggling with staff shortages due to COVID. The Calgary Board of Education reported more than 1,100 staff members absent on Friday. The Calgary Catholic School District had more than 125 absences. Filling these teacher absences has been difficult, with only 80 to 85% being filled by substitute teachers. Administrators have had to cover the remaining positions.
I had to go into the kindergarten class last week and teach the class because we didn't have a guest teacher coming in. So it has, and everyone's pretty flexible and adjustable, and our education assistants have been wonderful in helping with coverage and whatnot, but it's definitely affected everyone.
While the UCP government hasn't indicated that a return to online classes could be coming, the CCSD announced on Friday that if there's a 25% absentee rate in classrooms, they will be moving back online. The CBE hasn't announced any specific figures yet, but they said they'll monitor it on a case-by-case basis. Many students have been absent from class recently. Some parents are choosing to keep their kids home, while others must stay home due to close contacts or positive COVID tests. Some teachers believe online schooling could help stop the spread of COVID, but it could be difficult for students to lose the in-person schooling.
Learning's not the same online. We can't, right? Then there's really no hands-on and things like that they can do when they're sitting in front of a computer, right? And in front of a device for several hours a day. I don't think that's healthy either. So
there is a lot of uncertainty regarding online classes, as schools must be ready to switch on a moment's notice. Adapting and being creative will remain as important as ever as COVID continues to spread. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Tommy Osborne.
A restaurant in Red Deer has been ordered to close after an investigation by Alberta Health Services found staff were not asking for proof of COVID-19 vaccination or a negative test, but instead accepted dog photos from customers to dine inside. A written order from AHS has given the granary's owner, Patrick Malkin, and Rachel Willey, says AHS received multiple complaints that staff had allowed customers to dine inside after showing a picture of a dog and their ID. The restaurant isn't allowed to reopen until after a hearing with AHS. Omicron continues to take its toll on Albertans. The recent numbers relayed by the province show we're not quite out of the woods just yet. Alberta saw another 6,010 cases confirmed by laboratories across the province yesterday, with a positivity rate of over 41%. The number of people hospitalized increased by 38 to 786, and the number of Albertans in ICU saw a decrease of 3, bringing the total down to 79. Albertans who test positive for COVID-19 are required to isolate for 5 days or until their symptoms subside. Alberta Health Minister Jason Copping said on social media on Monday that he has tested positive for COVID-19. Copping says after he began to display mild symptoms last week, he took a rapid test which was positive. He is now isolating at home. Copping urges any Albertans who haven't gotten immunized or still needs to get a booster to consider doing so as soon as possible. Reports suggest fully vaccinated individuals are 19 times less likely to end up in hospital with Omicron than unvaccinated individuals. A 50-year-old Calgary man who was a support provider for his roommate has been charged after an investigation into claims he sexually touched the disabled man. Calgary Police Services say the man was employed as a supportive roommate and allegedly groped the victim on multiple occasions over the summer of 2021. Detective Adam Williams of the Sexual Assault Investigative Unit says they take these reports very seriously as they understand people with disabilities are more vulnerable to this type of crime. Robert Wilton is scheduled to appear in court on February 2nd. The sentencing hearing for Justin Bennett, who was convicted last year in the killing of then-girlfriend's 3-year-old daughter, Ivy Wick, has been delayed. The delay comes from Bennett firing his lawyer earlier this month and has since been ordered to get a new one. How long it will take Bennett to find a new lawyer is unknown. Bennett faces an automatic life sentence, but it remains to be determined if he will be eligible for parole at any point. Bennett is expected to be back in court February 1st. WESTJET has made significant cuts to its February flight schedule due to staffing shortages and pandemic-related barriers on air travel. WESTJET interim president and CEO Harry Taylor says as they continue to navigate the unpredictability of the Omicron variant on their staffing levels, they are taking proactive steps to manage their schedule. Any passengers who are affected by the changes will be notified of their new itinerary in the coming days. Alberta winters can be cold and dangerous, especially on the roads. Last week, Calgary experienced a Chinook, which is common for Alberta, especially in Calgary, but Chinooks don't just change the temperature, they also affect driving conditions. Scott Krause has more details.
Chinook is always welcome during the winter months, melting all that snow and ice. The problem is the slush that replaces it. Slush can make stopping for vehicles harder, and puddles can cover up potholes or black ice, adding the danger of hydroplaning while driving. Transport Canada says black ice can be found on roads when temperatures are between 4 and -4. The slippery, transparent ice can be found on streets and overpasses and can be hard to see. Last night, the melted snows froze, making Calgary's roads icy once again. Proper vehicle maintenance can keep drivers safe while driving.
We run into issues with as the weather gets colder, and the tires, an all-season tire will get harder. So looking into a winter tire, you're going to have a softer rubber compound. As it gets colder, it'll help better on ice and snow. A little more aggressive treads, it'll dig better in the deep snow.
Winter consistently shows dangerous driving conditions, which increase the amount of traffic fatalities by 25%. Alberta reported that January has the highest amount of injuries from collisions.
Driving-related injuries are more common in urban areas, but more deaths happen in rural areas. Snow and ice is more slippery at 0 Celsius than at -20 Celsius or below.
I think once everything gets really warm, everything melts, and then I think once it gets cold again after that, everything just freezes over, and it's like really dangerous on the roads.
Drivers can reduce the chances of steering out of control by following speed limits and avoiding slamming on the brakes in emergency situations. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Scott Krause.
Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast after the break with Rachel, but first, Sylvia Naranjo Guarderas has a look at what's going on around Calgary this week.
Experience a site-specific driving dance performance presented by Decidedly Jazz Dance Works this weekend. You can grab your popcorn and catch a movie as Kensington's historic Calgary Plaza Theatre officially reopens with a new owner, a brand new look, and a catalog of showtimes. Waddle your way into this new year as Calgary Zoo's Penguin Walk is back for its 10th year. Witness skiing penguins as they explore, exercise, and waddle across the zoo. It may not warm your hands, but it will surely warm your hearts. Trying to find your match before Valentine's? A bunch of local businesses in 17th Avenue have prepared special events for those looking for love away from online dating apps. Meet new people as Element Cafe is doing a speed dating this Friday. What used to be a planetarium is now a place for modern and contemporary art. View 3 new exhibits featuring local and national artists.
Speaking of Valentine's Day, we can always look forward to some warmer weather in February. But let's take a look at what's happening across the country. In the west, we have Vancouver with a little bit of rain, and I know there's been some mudslides recently, so we got to be careful with those roads and the driving conditions. In the prairies, we are at the mid to low teens, so we can expect a little bit of colder weather. We do have a low pressure system coming in from the northeast around the Pacific Arctic area that'll bring in a little bit more cold temperature. And now in the east, we have Toronto at -4 with a little bit of sun, so we can get out the suntan lotion, the sunglasses, you know, get a little tanning on. Montreal with the lowest temperature of -12 and a little bit of sun. And St. John's and Halifax with a little bit of rain. Of course, got to watch out for the mudslides, you never know. We do have a low pressure system coming in from the east, which will bring a little bit more cold weather towards those areas. Toronto does have a winter storm warning, so let's watch out for that blowing snow. Now let's take a look at what's happening down south in Paradise. Palm Springs and Cancun needs an umbrella with a chance of showers and currently sitting at 23 degrees. Barbados with the highest temperature of 28 degrees and partly cloudy. Honolulu, Disney World, and the gambling capital all in the high teens and low 20s with sunny and clear skies. In Calgary today, we are currently sitting at -14, and the conditions are mostly cloudy with wind coming from the north at 16 kilometers per hour. What's next is we can expect a little bit of cloud, a little bit of clearness tonight. And in the province, I will say these temperatures are kind of looking like a moody teenager, a little bit of everywhere. Up in the north, we do have some low 20s, so a little bit of colder, break out the snowsuit, maybe heat up the fire, make some hot cocoa. In Edmonton, Red Deer, Calgary, we do have some mid-teens, so again, break out the snowsuit. You can never be too sure. Banff, however, looking ready for the slopes. We can hit the powder with our snowboards, our skis. And now for the 5-day forecast. Tonight is a low of -21 and clear with a little bit of cloud, so a little bit of stargazing. Tomorrow, a high and low of -10. Who knew they could be the same? And partly cloudy. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're kind of getting into some warmer temperatures. Thursday, some sun and cloud. Friday, the same. And Saturday, a little bit more cloudy than the days before. Rye will have the sports for you after this break.
I had it so good. I had my own car, great grades, everything in my life was going great till I ruined it all. Little did I know, this would be my greatest mistake. Drunk driving. Lawyer fees, disappointed parents, lost car. If only I listened.
Hey, you aren't good to drive home.
Friends don't let friends drink and drive.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry-standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is Broadcast News. Come and dare to be on air.
Ryan Clark joins us now for a look at the latest sports highlights. Ryan, what's going on?
Well, UFC had some great fights. We're going to see some of that. Also, some look at the Raptors, how they're doing. But first, let's start off with the Trojans. The SAIT community can look forward to watching the SAIT Trojans in action again. The Trojans men's basketball team is back after more than a month of hiatus following the cancellation of the 2021 athletics season back in November 2020. As Cami Murag reports, it's hoped the team forward Talik Ross will be a big part of the Trojans' success.
The second half of the season has already resumed, and the team's forward and center Talik Ross puts in extra effort because he considers all teams in the league to have good players.
Because everybody's great competition in this league, and just stay together as a team, come in here every day, work hard, and just just focus in school too, first and foremost, because you got to stay eligible.
Ross started playing with the Trojans last full season and has won one league title. The pandemic has slowed down the team the past couple of weeks, but his personal goal is still to bag another championship by the end of the season next month.
The SAIT Trojans men's basketball team is 4 times consecutive. I just won this previous one, so I only have one personally, so I do for sure want another one, and I'm pretty sure we're going to do what we got to do to get that again.
Ross also says the team is now back to regular practices and will be better prepared for the remaining games of the season. He acknowledges the effort of all his teammates and how their head coach, Marty Berkey, has been helping them grow.
We're just going to be better prepared. You know, Christmas break with the Omicron variant happening, we didn't really get enough time in the gym. We had 1 week of practice to prepare for this past game Saturday, and it showed, you know. So this week we're coming in more focused. Coach Marty had a great film session today before we started practice, and he let us know we needed to do better. He let us know we did well, and he let us know what we're going to do moving forward.
Ross has played 6 games, scored a total of 68 points, and secured a total of 56 rebounds so far in this season. The Trojans is currently second in the ACAC ranking next to Lethbridge College.
There are a total of 9 games remaining for the balance of the second season, and they are up against Medicine Hat College this coming Friday and Saturday. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Cami Marayag.
The Calgary Flames are hosting the Florida Panthers tonight at 7. The team will be out for revenge following their previous matchup, which scorched the Flames 6-2. The Panthers are looking to pounce following a previous win, 9-2 over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Jonathan Huberdeau currently leads the team in goals with 53 points. The Flames will be looking to tighten the gap. Johnny Gaudreau is their lead with the Flames in goals, currently at 39 points. The Flames will have a challenging night working to knock the Panthers off their 2-9 win streak. And the Montreal Canadiens were shut down on the ice Monday night, losing to the Arizona Coyotes 5-2. Montreal had a rough start to the game with 2 goals in the first period, switching their play to catch up. Rem Pitlick was able to snag a goal at the end of the first, helping close that gap, but a goal by the Coyotes' Janice Moser right into the second period seemed to cement their victory. Ultimately, the Canadiens were unable to close the gap in goals. The defeat will add to their losing streak, keeping the team in last place in the NHL standings. The Toronto Raptors got more than a sunburn in Miami last night, losing to the Heat 104-99. The loss was tough, but the game showed just how much potential the Raptors still have. Raptors' Chris Bouchard had a great game to showcase how far he has come in the season. Bouchard was quick in his transitions and picking up easy buckets in the fast break. Yet in the third, Miami came out nailing mid-range jumpers and keeping control away from the Raptors. The Raptors are finally seeing a return to their lineup, with the coming and going of players derailing much of the first season due to sickness. The Raptors will play the Dallas Mavericks Wednesday at 6:30. Calgary Stampeders have re-signed defensive tackles Derek Wigan and Mike Rose to 2-year contracts. Both parties were slated to become free agents next month, but their effective work for the team as a defensive line made it hard to see them go. Wigan is a Canadian native from Toronto who has appeared in 92 career regular season games with Calgary since he was picked in the 4th round of the 2014 draft. And UFC had a night of underdog victories. Calvin Kattar became the first man to deal a loss to Gigi Chikaza. The night starting off with Vagelas Borcheva fighting Dako Bush, which ended as soon as it began with a TKO in the first round. On to the main fight, Kattar was quick to counter Chikaza bouts and spins into an elbow. The fight lasting all 5 rounds and was down to the last second, with Kattar knocking Chikaza down in the last second before the bell. Kattar scoring a unanimous victory from the judges, with Chikaza losing his 9-game win streak and his first loss under the UFC banner. And Canada's Leyla Ann Fernandez has been eliminated in the first round of the Australian Open. Fernandez lost to wildcard entry Madison Ingles 6-4 and 6-2. Fernandez is ranked number 24 in the world and will be the second time being eliminated in the first round. This is Ingles' first time winning in a Grand Slam, main draw ranking 133. And then Hideki Matsuyama has won the Sony Open after forcing a playoff with Russell Henry. Matsuyama finishing the round off with a win by 2 points. It was a sudden death playoff where Matsuyama was able to hit a 3-iron from 276 yards, settling 3 feet from the hole with an easy tap in for an eagle, which would cement his victory of 7 under. And that's a look at sports.
The entertainment world is buzzing today about Betty White. The TV icon passed away just before her 100th birthday, but many celebs are honoring her memory with a fundraiser. Sylvia Naranjo Guarderas joins us from the newsroom. Sylvia, give us the update.
That's right, Drew. Trisha Yearwood celebrated what would have been Betty White's 100th birthday on Monday. The country musician raised more than $36,000 to Dottie's Yard Fund, which will distribute funds to rescue pets and animal charities across the U.S. Yearwood went live on Talk Shop Live and inspired people to donate for the Betty White Challenge. She said the best way to celebrate Betty's birthday was by giving to animals which were always so dear to her. And meanwhile, the Canadian actor Jim Carrey celebrated his birthday with a funny video he posted on Twitter this Monday. That's right, Jim Carrey is 60 already. Stars and famous friends share their messages and photos. The beloved actor stated in his account, "I am old, but I am gold."
I'm 60 and sexy. And tonight I'm having cream corn and strained peaches.
The Academy of Canadian Cinema and Television announced this year's special awards honorees. This time, the awards include a new category, the Changemaker Award, to recognize people in the Canadian media who use their voice to promote values of equity and inclusion. Receiving the Changemaker Award this year are TSN's The Shift host Kayla Gray, journalist Kathleen Newman-Bremang, and playwright, columnist, and TV and radio host Amanda Paris, among others, which will be represented during Canadian Screen Week, taking place this year from April 4 to April 10. And the Roku channel has announced it will start production next month on a biopic of Grammy winner Weird Al Yankovic.
All of my action figures and cherries, Stephen Hawking's in my library. My MySpace page is all totally pimped out. Got people begging for my top 8 spaces. Yo, I know pi to 1,000 places. Ain't got no grills, but I still wear braces.
The biggest-selling comedy recording artist of all time, Yankovic, is best known for parodying contemporary hits as well as original songs. Daniel Radcliffe, well known for his role as Harry Potter, will play the role of the now 62-year-old pop culture icon Yankovic, who will co-write and produce the movie. Expressed he is thrilled that Daniel Radcliffe will portray him. And that's a look at the latest entertainment news. Back to you, Drew.
Thanks, Sylvia. It was such a shame about Betty White's passing. I made sure to make a donation myself, and I hope some of our viewers did as well. Lots of people have adopted pets during this pandemic, but you might want to give some serious thought to the kind of pet you adopt. After the break, we look at wolf dogs, definitely not for the faint of heart.
When you donate to the Salvation Army, you're not just donating a coat, you're donating another warm night for someone that needs it. When you donate to the Salvation Army, you're giving someone hope. So why wait? Give hope today.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry-standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Adopting a wolf dog might sound like an exciting opportunity, but a local sanctuary says the breed is more than your average dog. Matt Robar joined the pack at Yamniska Wolf Dog Sanctuary to learn more about these one-of-a-kind animals.
Yamnuska Wolf Dog Sanctuary is one of the largest and most educationally driven sanctuaries in all of Canada. Home to over 25 wolf dogs, they strive to both rescue and bring awareness to a misunderstood breed of animal.
Just being in the enclosures with the actual animal, being able to be as close as possible to them, seeing the different personalities that they had, it was a really beautiful experience.
Lark is probably around 130. He's one of our biggest animals. He's very large, and a little bit bigger than what would be considered a typical large gray wolf.
If you've got a lot of wolf content, they're going to differ from a dog because they have such a small amount of dog in them that they really act much more like a wolf. Because of movies and TV shows, wolves are portrayed to be these aggressive, mean, man-eating type animals, when in reality, they're really shy and timid of humans and want to avoid them at pretty much all costs. So
They ask for education and awareness before considering to bring one home. And as popularity of wolf dogs continues to rise, rescues like Yamnuska will need our support. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Matt Robar.
Well, that certainly looked like a lot of fun. What do you guys think?
I want 20.
I think that might be a little dangerous, but it's fine. It's fine. They're still super cute.
Absolutely. Rachel's going to have a quick look at the 5-day for us.
Yeah, well, we can still expect some clear skies tonight, so a little bit of stargazing. And tomorrow, as I've said, both high and low are the same, so we don't have to expect much change at all, Drew.
That's all for SAIT Newsfile. Join us again next Thursday. We'll see you then.